Welcome, welcome, and welcome. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. No matter what comes our way, we know we have a good, loving, compassionate God. So thanks for joining us today. This is the Gracious Hope live podcast. My name is Pastor Suah S, Deddeh, and my co-host Reverend Dr. Alexander Red, Pastor Red, is not with us today. He will be with us next Saturday by the grace of God. So please keep it in your prayers and thank you for joining us. We want to encourage you to please share this video because we have a very important guest today and we have a very important topic. It is not a topic that you think it's a big topic, but it is big because we are discussing Liberia and Liberians, and specifically the Bassa-speaking people who live in the United States of America and will be observing a very important event. And that is the 32nd annual convention of the United Bassa Organizations in the United States of America. Uniboa. The child has grown. That's a powerful name. The child has grown. When a child grows up, the child takes on very unique and important activities for the betterment of the child's parent and her nation state. And that's why we are glad that Uniboa Secretary General, the Reverend Joseph Cephas Davis, is with us today to discuss this 32nd convention coming up in Indianapolis, in the United States of America. What's going to happen, what will be the events, and whole 9 year we'll be discussing today. So please stay with us. Thanks for joining us. Share this video because you are up for a very interesting discussion. So before much ado, Reverend Davis is ready for discussion. So I'm just going straight to him so that we can start today's discussion. Reverend Davis, welcome to Gracious Hope Live podcast that we broadcast every Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Central Time. And we are glad that you could join us today to discuss Uniboa, the child has grown. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, to be here with you in studio, and talk a little bit about the Bassa people in America, and also, give the audience just a little bit brief history of the Bassa people of Liberia.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm just telling you, audience, this is Reverend Davis. You know, when the pastors take the pulpit, it's going to be a very interesting discussion. So if you start preaching to us, just say amen and we'll go ahead. Hallelujah. So, Reverend Davis, we know that your 32nd National Convention is coming up in Indianapolis. Would you just bring us to speed what to expect and what's going to happen?
Yeah, I know our audience, I know some of them, maybe some people not familiar with our organization. Before, I kind of talk about the convention, I would like to just give, a little bit of, history about the organization. But I know everybody know the Bassa people. Most people don't know the Bassa people. We find them in officially we say 4 counties: Montserrado County, Grand Bassa County, Rivercess, and Magibi. But we got good population in Bon County, the Cocoa region of Bassa people. Yeah, but the official 4 counties that we consider in our organization are those 4 counties. And if the audience out there, if you don't know a little, let me just give you a little bit of history the Bassa people play in the formation of Liberia. On December 15, 1821, when uh, there was a Bassa and Day chief were in negotiation of Dr. Ellard Harris of the ACS to purchase a piece of land on Cape Montserrado, and the Bassa chief that represented uh, in that negotiation, it was a Bassa chief. He was a chief for the little Maban town on the Cape Montserrado River. Yeah, he was part of that team. He was called Wegwa, which means George. If we translate it, his name was George. So we play a major role in the formation of formation of Liberia. When you look at Liberia history, you get to know about the Bassa people. But we'll come to Uniboa. Here's interesting about Uniboa. Uniboa, it was like in the 70s, 72, some Bassa folks came together, headed by former Defense Minister Tom Wowoyu, and they formed this Bassa group in on the East Coast. Yeah, they call it the Bassa Progressive League. And they were bringing people together. And the main thing about that league was to protect the Bassa heritage in the diaspora. As people come here, they forget about our heritage and who we are as a people. Then continue on to the 1990s, the early 1990s. They came together and said, "But let's do a big organization. Let's call it Blue Jay. Because of home. So they rise of that name. Blue Jay was around. So after some time, they met again. They met again. That was in 1983. Then in the 90s, they met again. They say, "But let's do something. Let's do something big. Let's bring all the Bassa people together in the Americas." So in the 90s, they funded the Bassa. They decided they formed a constitutional committee. They decided to meet. So they met, and in that process, they say, "Okay, let's call the group the Bassa, the Federation of Bassa Counties of America." So everybody said yes. Then it went to the next constitutional meeting, which was on the East Coast again, in the Jersey area. Then they finally decided, say, we're going to need this organization, the United Bassa Organization in the Americas. And that happened April 13, 1991. So that's how Uniboa came into being. So Uniboa have been around, we having our 32nd convention. So being around for, 33 years. Yeah. And currently, we took what the leadership at Uniboa. And before, the convention, one of the reasons we decided before we came into leadership, I was on the board of directors representing Iowa. I was there as a chairperson for the Judicial Committee and secretary for the Program Implementation Committee. And Joseph Reed, who is the current vice president, and Daniel Moore, who is a treasurer. So we decided to say, we need to build an institution. We've been around for 30 years. We need to build an institution that be lasting, an institution that be surrounded and based on the institution, not individual. So that was one of our goals when we decided to come and take over the leadership of Uniboa. So yeah, so that was one of the reasons we came, and this coming convention will be our second convention since we took office, and it will also be our election year, and we are. We're looking forward to Indiana going to be hosting us. Yeah, and so Indiana going to be hosting our convention, and this is a convention where we're going to present a bigger plan for the Bassa people. Okay, it's my host stay around.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So in other words, this convention will provide an opportunity for the Bassa-speaking people, like you said, from Grand Bassa, Rivercess, Montserrado, and Magibi, to come together and celebrate their culture, while at the same time addressing important initiatives in education, healthcare, and other welfare areas.
Yeah. One of the major thing at this convention, this convention will be on the election year. We're going to be going back to the ballot box for the Bassa people to elect, and this convention also we will be launching our signature project for the Williams and Reese administration, which is we want to construct a resource center library throughout the 4 Bassa counties. Yeah. So we're going to be launching that at this convention. And our guest speaker, the Honorable Wena Zangpa, she's going to be our keynote speaker, and she's going to be there, because one of the reasons, while we're in conversation with our keynote speaker, one of the entity she leads trying to do is to enter to the whole digital library and stuff. So that would be a good thing for us. Yeah. But the amazing thing about this convention, it brings all the Bassa people together. We got chapters around got about 15 different chapters around the country. So they're going to be coming together. We're going to celebrate our heritage and who we are as a Bassa people. And this year convention team is advancing the games after 32 years by preparing Uniboa into a mission-driven organization. Like I said
Wow.
earlier, one of our goal when we took over the leadership at Uniboa is to build an institution. Because the reality about it in the past, it had been like individual, and it's rampant like in most of our institution. People build individual and not institution. So we want to build institution, and it have been difficult in building institution because our people are not used to that. So there have been challenges that we've been facing, but we stand to be resolute, to build an institution that will be here for us, for our children and our grandchildren.
That's good. Let me just pick it back on the project you talk about that you want to earmark and you'll be launching at this convention. What is the amount that you think the project would need to be successful?
Uh, Currently we have we got architects kind of working on the estimate of the project, but we want to build something that would be something that would be, I often tell people, if I build a school in Liberia, it should be a school. If my daughter go to Liberia or my grandchild, they will be able to attend that school. So we want to build a library and a resource center that will be befitting for any educational starters or Western starters. We don't just want to go, just lay something out and say, oh, we built a library. No, that's not what we want to do. Yeah.
That's great. That's a very good philosophy you have. If you want to build a school for children, your children or grandchildren should also be able to go to that school where you're building for the people. That's a very good thing. I know along the way that there are obstacles, there are challenges, and there are setbacks as you progress for the growth of Uniboa. The child has grown. But if the child has grown, then what else do you want to do when the child has grown?
That's great, our founding fathers are funding organization, So now, uh, uh, creating the organization now into a mission-driven organization, we want to kind of like, kind of re-energize and redefine what it means the child has grown. Sometimes we just pick names, yeah, but now we want to live out want to live for that. Yeah, we want to live for that the child has actually grown. And so that's yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's good because somebody might say, but if the child has grown, what do you want to do with a grown-up child already? You cannot do anything else. But I mean, your explanation is good, so that people understand why this child has grown. There are other things that this grown-up child can also do to
yeah.
help the older people and do more things for the society. So we are glad you clarified that. So far, Reverend Davis, what have been some of the problems, the setbacks that you have encountered? And what keeps you going in the face of this encounter?
The one thing that that I usually tell people, when it comes to change is very difficult. When you start to carry on change, people become resilient to change. That's a natural phenomenon. Not just in the Liberian organization. It happened in our pastoral ministry. I pastored a Caucasian church. It happens everywhere. When change is about to happen, people do not love change, and that's have been some of the resistance, the Williams and Reese administration have been facing, like some of the basic change we try to bring to this institution. Let's take for example, in the whole 30 years, 31 years of Uniboa, people come take our leadership. They use their personal email when they go, everything go with them. You know, People come to, they use their personal email to run the organization. So when we took over, one of the first things we did, and I told the president, I say, we have to have an email system for the institution that when we leave, other people that will take office, all they have to do, they just change the password. They get access to every communication I have been undertaking, every communication, the president, the vice president, the secretary. So one of the first things we did, we instituted a whole email system that Uniboa have today, the whole email system. So when I leave as Secretary General, and I tell them, if you send me communication, it's not from the official email, I will not respond to it. Yeah, I'll tell the president, I say, you send me from your personal email, I will not respond to it until it comes from the official email. So these are the kind of system we are putting in place to make Uniboa a mission-driven organization. We've been around 32 years this year, and we have not register in Liberia as a nonprofit. So if you're not registered in Liberia as a nonprofit, how do you negotiate, with NGOs in Liberia to take up major projects? So one of the thing our administration, the Williams and Reese administration did, we registered Uniboa now in Liberia, as a non-profit organization in Liberia. So one of the reasons we did that because the bigger things we want to do, the Bassa people give for the chance, for the next term, the bigger things we want to do, we need people to assist us. But you got to get an institution for people to be able to help you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So the convention will the convention will be in September, I think, from the
Yeah,
second. Yeah,
September 1st
yeah.
to the 4th, that will be the convention.
Okay,
So on the
okay.
first, delegates starts to arrive on that Friday, and we do our meet and greet, and where we meet will be at Mr. Chia resident. That's where we're gonna meet, and just then registration process gonna begin on that Friday on that Friday night. Then Saturday morning is our business session where we will pass resolutions and look at different issues that affect their association. So that'll be our business session. And that night we have our Queen Contest and Cultural Heritage Night. In the past, there have not been, Cultural Heritage Night. That was introduced by the Rees and Williams administration. And the good thing about it, because for me, I kind of like a history geek, so I started this whole research, finding my identity as a son of the Bassa tribe and a Liberian, And I say, our heritage is missing. We need to bring it back and, let people get to know who we are as a Bassa people. So that Saturday night we'll do Queen Contest at the same time. We'll celebrate the Bassa heritage, the Bassa people who's one of the most prolific people, Yeah, so then we'll be celebrating. Then on Sunday we're gonna have service, and then Sunday night it will be our knuckle. It will be our ball. Yep, the
That's
convention
great.
ball.
That's great. That's great. You mentioned heritage so many times. So, in a nutshell, what would you say is the heritage of the Bassa speaking people?
Oh, wow, that's a that's a tough way. I think we are, from my own personal research, I think we are kind of resilient people, and one of the things that is embedded in the Bassa people is leadership. If you go back to our history, every places we went, towns that we created, we started, we started leading. You know. So I think, and one of our unique heritage that we kind of our current generation and the younger one lost in is speaking of the Bassa language. If you look at the Bassa language, it started way back. The Bassa language is between the oldest languages in the world with the Hebrew languages. Yeah, the Bassa language got missing at a certain point, and then it revamped again. Then it got missing again. And the Bassa language, there was a Bassa chemist who was a doctor, Dr. Lewis. He graduated from Syracuse University in the early 1900s. Yeah, the early 1900s. And he went to Brazil. And when he went to Brazil, he saw people speaking the Bassa language, and he was like shocked. How did it get there? Yeah. And I thought after the Bassa Empire fell in the 4th century, uh, and the Bassa people spread through through Africa, through West Africa, I thought that way it happened. But then I realized going through to Liberia history, more than 33,900 Bassolians were captured and brought into slavery. The first bunch of people captured by the Portuguese, it was from the Bassa Coast. That's how the Bassa people ended in Brazil. So our language is this unique heritage. So that's when Flo came back. He said, "Look, we got to create an alphabet for this language." That how can he forgot about the whole science field? He moved to Liberia. He funded the first printing press. The first printing press in the history of Liberia was funded by a Bassa man. That's when he started the first printing press. And that's when he met President Tuckman and the Institute of Bassa to be part of the educational curriculum. but it got erased when Toba took over. So now more Liberians believe that Pele was to be the major language that should have been taught. But Tubman instituted Bassa to be taught from elementary school through our high school to be an official language for the Bassa people. But it got erased. Our language is our heritage. And that's something we got to hold on to. So I got friends here in the US that when I call them, we just speak Bassa, you know. And some people wonder, oh, you speak Bassa, you Davis? I say, yeah.
I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. I mean, that's a good thing to be able to speak your language fluently and enjoy it. Some of us, okay, let's leave that. That's one. That's another topic altogether. But let's go back to this thing because you mentioned so many times, which is true in most instances, that people personalize things, and then by the time they leave, it dies. So President Tuckman, like you said. Agreed for the Bassa language to be incorporated in our educational system. But do you remember whether that was legislated for the Bassa language to be part of the Liberian educational curriculum? Was that?
Oh, yeah. I might go back to my research, but yes, it was part of it went through the legislature. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
it incorporated into the curriculum. Yeah, the
That's
educational
great.
curriculum. Yeah.
That's great. And you don't know whether the same legislature removed that from the Liberian educational curriculum
No,
when
no,
it was started.
I've not followed the history.
Okay.
How I think one of the thing about the whole Pella issue, what I know about, it was pronounced to be taught in colleges, not into high school yet. I might do maybe a little bit of research on that, but
That's great. That's great. Okay, I mean that's enough for that. But let's go back to the convention, and then you talk about 15 chapters. Where are these 15 chapters located?
we got about 15 chapter. Maybe I'm gonna be exact. We got chapter in Iowa. We got we got chapter in Michigan. We got in New Jersey. We got two chapter. We got South Jersey and North Jersey. In Philadelphia, we got the PA chapter in Philadelphia. Then we got the Indiana chapter. Uh, then you go down south, we got Texas, which are not being much active, which we're trying to work with them. We got the Texas chapter. Then we have we got active chapter in Colorado. We got a chapter in Minnesota, which we trying to work with. Have been kind of less active in recent time. We got North Carolina. Um, then we got
You
which
ain't got
was
Maryland yet.
yeah, we got Maryland. We got a Maryland chapter. We got a DC chapter. Yeah, that's right. We got Maryland. We got DC. Yeah.
Okay,
Then we got Georgia. We got the Georgia chapter. Yeah.
cool.
And the great news. One of the things we talk about expansion. When the Williams and Reed's administration took office. So one of the things we've been doing, we've been in conversation with different chapters. Yeah, we also got chapter in Ohio, which have been kind of like they left the union and we before we came, so we're trying to bring them back into the union. Yeah, so Eleanor, we hope for of Eleanor. Eleanor, I don't think the person will get a problem with saying it over here. Eleanor just applied, to be part of the union, the Eleanor chapter. We've been talking with them. Yeah, so Eleanor applied, and now they're waiting for clearance from the president because that's what the Constitution says. The president got to give them clearance of readiness. Then the General Assembly in September going to vote to make Illinois a full chapter. We got chapter in New York, but now we're in conversation with Staten Island. Yeah, they had a couple of meetings. According to the last conversation I had with them, they said they're going to send their letter of intent to the president to be part of the union. So we're hoping at September conference we might be bringing in about 2 to 3 a new chapter into the United Bassa Association of the Americas.
That's great. That's great. If you're just joining us, this is the Gracious Hope live podcast. We have our guest today, Reverend Joseph Cephas Z.K. Davis. I want to make sure I call the names because he worked hard for this name, and his parents gave him this name. We have to honor all those names. Yeah, he's discussing Uniboa, the child has grown. 32nd convention coming up in you know in
Okay.
Indianapolis. Yeah,
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
You just talk my name. Let me give you some little small history of my name. Yeah.
Okay, then we can continue.
I
Right
was
ahead.
born when I was born. My father had his best friend. My late father used to be. They were the first engineer that Lamco trained to run the railroad, the train. So my father was a train man. He was a train driver, engineer. Yeah. So he had his best friend called Joseph Cephas early. So when my mom gave birth to me. And so he named me. So then they named me Joseph Cephas Davis. So
I
as I kind
see.
of grew up, I said, I didn't have no part to play in this name. So I need a name that I need my own name. Everybody got a name, they got no part to play in. I said, no, I won't be new, but so let me put something up, So the Zebedee is, I took it as my Christian name, from the Bible.
Yes,
Cephas also is a biblical name. And
indeed.
the K is Kankoya. I did not get to see my late grandfather. My late grandfather was Kankoya Davis. Yeah, I didn't get to see him. And besides that, the K too, it gave me that identity of, as son of the soil, instead of just the ancestors, free
Yeah.
slave, ancestors.
Yeah.
So yeah. So my grandfather was Kankoya Davis. Yeah. So I said, now I
Oh,
feel
complete.
relief. I'm part of my name.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. We cannot forget our historicity, especially as we grow, so that we don't forget where we came from. A nation that forgets its beginning is lost because you will always lose your history and forget your people. And I like how you laid down the origins of the Bassa-speaking people, going as far as Brazil. So thanks for doing that. Don't go away, Reverend Davis. We're going to be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, please don't go away. Please share this video because it's important that we discuss about ourselves. Liberians, we have very strong cultural heritage. Besides being Bassa, just look at all the counties in Liberia. We have strong cultural heritage that we must hold fast to. We cannot afford to lose them because when you start losing your heritage, that's the beginning of you crashing into nothingness. So don't go away. Stay right there and we'll be right back. Come back to the Gracious Hope Live podcast. Our guest today is Reverend Davis. He's the Secretary General of Uniboa. The child has grown. I love the meaning of this name. I can't stop saying it. The child has grown. Yes. He's discussing with us today the 32nd National Convention of Uniboa people, Bassa-speaking people, that will be happening in Indianapolis, United States of America. We are glad that he could come to discuss this topic because we know it is always good to remember where you came from so that you don't lose your history. It is important to appreciate where you came from so that those who meet you who don't know about you will learn about you by you diverting your history to them. So we thank you for joining us today, Reverend Davis, and we hope this is a worthwhile time with us today. We mentioned Queen Contest. contest means more than one person will be participating. So please say something about the Queen contest and then the guest speaker.
Oh yeah, the Queen contest. It happens every year where we select a queen. The queen comes from all the different chapters. The about 15 chapters that is in our union around Americas. They come and be part of the Queen contest. We tried this year to make it kind of because in Uniboa we have a committee called Home Affair. The Home Affair committees, they're based in Liberia. They kind of our eye in Liberia. They kind of run things when we have different projects in Liberia. Yeah, so the Home Affair do that. So one of the things we have tried to do is to see, how best we can bring a queen from Liberia to be part of the Queen contest. So this year, extend an invitation to uh, the full Miss for the full Bassa counties. Yeah, I'm hoping so the players, if one of them or two-person got visa, we're gonna decide, and one person gonna represent the Home Affair. And the unique thing about Queen contest, we passed a resolution last convention. The proceed from the Queen contest, 50% of that proceed goes to the Queen, not to say go to the Queen personally. It's a set aside for the Queen to find a project to do. Yeah. So the money raised from that, the Queen will decide she want to do certain project, and 50% of the money raised from that Queen contest will be giving to the Queen through the Ways and Means Committee, to monitor the project. So the project will come, we will look at the project, the benefits, our vision, our goal, for the organization. Then the Queen will lead that project and carry on that project. Yeah. So that's one of our major fundraiser issue. But at the same time, the Queen get a project to implement every year, 50% from that funding, which was a resolution, that we passed this convention, and we hope that resolution going to remain in place.
That's great. That's great. So tell us a little bit about the guest speaker.
The guest speaker is the managing director for the Liberia Telecommunication Network. Yeah, Mara Zapad. Yeah. So now we as the secretary, be in communication with her. She's gonna be our guest speaker. So and currently, I'm still working with her secretary to get all the necessary information like biography for us to do. Yeah. But our vice president had known Ms. Zakpa for a very long time, know her very well personally. Yeah. And recommended her to, to be our guest speaker. And we had a conversation on the phone, about our library project is something, deep to our heart, about helping our kids to read and our students to be able to do basic and unique research as the world change and transform.
That's great. That's great. I remember there was a fire incident at the hospital in Buchanan, one of the, I would say now one of the major hospitals in Buchanan, and it was burned. It was disastrous. I know people were hurt because of the fire incident. And the President Williams, at his inauguration, I recall watching your information on your website. He promised to do something about that situation to raise funds. So what has happened since that time, Mr. Davis?
Oh yeah, during our last convention, we raised money for the hospital. Not just raise money alone. We invited the medical director from the hospital. He was part of the convention, and I'm hopeful he's going to be there again because I sent an invitation. Yeah, the medical director from the hospital. Yeah, he was there. We raised some money. We raised over $6,000 to help with the hospital, and that money. Yep, the president was in Liberia. In April, May, we were in Liberia, but went on like different occasions. The president wanted to bury his brother. The vice president wanted to celebrate his brother's birthday. And I went to do a conference I do in my hometown for a young minister that I do every year.
Great.
So we say, no need to use organization money. No, we're going to Liberia. So while in Liberia, we may use take some of our personal time to do the Bassa people work, because I wanted the accountability we talk about when we talk about leadership. So we spent our own money. We went there. Yep. And the president made the presentation during that time. Yep. So the presentation was made. And one of the unique our administration have done since the formation of Uniboa, people send money to Liberia, go to Western Union and stuff. And that's one of the things the president say, man, we can't do this. And we on the leadership team say, we agree with you. We can't just be sending institution money to individual to pay scholarship fees to do this. So one of the mission was to open an account in Liberia, that the Home Affairs will get access to, and the treasurer, Daniel Moore, and the president, will be able to monitor. Yeah, so we opened the account already in Monrovia. So now every transaction of project we're doing in Monrovia, it go through that process for us to monitor the accountability, how money leave and how money go, instead of just sending money, bunch of money to somebody through Western Union. Yeah. So that donation was made. But there are so many things we have done without, you know, going into our cover. Let's take, for example, the president influences and relationship with the Trana organization, which is based in Kentucky. The president have been able to build this good relationship with them. We're able to donate medical equipment to hospitals in the Bassa County through the Ministry of Health. We were able to distribute medical supplies that more than 50 to 75,000 worth. And one of the things through that same relationship, we're able to donate Senecas, more than 70 pairs of Senecas to students within the Bassa counties, and nutritional food to pregnant women in Rivercess and other Bassa counties. So we have been doing things, building relationship, as we said, driving Uniboa into a mission-driven organization. We want to build an institution, and it's not easy to build an institution out to anybody because people do not love change.
That's fair enough. People do not love change, especially because change is uncertain for them and it's unknown. Change kind of takes you into the unknown. So not many persons are brave enough to agree with change, and sometimes they fight the leadership, even the leadership have good plans, but there will be resistance. That's why you need determined leaders to lead, and then openness is also good, or transparency is good, and you mentioned that so many times. But your website said you presented $6,900. Is that true? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the sneakers you're talking about, I also saw on the website. Was it the sneakers that the homeland head
Yeah.
presented? Okay.
Yeah. The Home Affairs presenter. Yeah.
Wonderful. Home Affairs, wonderful. So again, let me come back to the issue of the Iowa convention. Usually, the convention is hosted by the chapter that operates in that place. So, who's the leader of that chapter, and how is the cooperation going?
Oh yeah, Indiana chapter is one of our, should I say, yeah, some of these chapter they just like on fire, and they got all these great energy.
Yeah.
We just admitted Indiana into the union. We admitted Indiana about 2 years ago. I think about 2 or 3 years ago. We admitted Indiana as a chapter into the union, and it's kind of amazing. The president is Rex Basigia. He's the president of Indiana chapter. He's a former assistant minister in the Eddie Jones Salib government. He's a junior brother, and I got high respect for him. And you know, when it was time to to host a convention, some people say, "Oh, Indiana, they're too young," and I say, I respect Mr. Basic leadership. I know they're going to do an amazing job. And since then, the vice president is the chair of the convention committee, and the vice president have been working along with them and the entire leadership. Yeah, so we are very, very hopeful that Indiana is ready, and you know, they they're just waiting. They are excited to host us. This is going to be an amazing convention. I think it's going to be one of our best convention in our history. We're going to be doing different things at this convention. And if our Bassa folks, if you have not booked your hotel, make sure you do it. because the first room they gave us, it was, it's already been booked. So we talked to them and the vice president now. They will provide 10 rooms every week. So we encourage you to book your room. We, we are going, we are going to this convention, to tell our people, like our campaign slogan now, which, I came up with, we are building institution, not individual, because I think that's matter, not just for Uniboa. It matters in every Liberia institution, Liberia organization in America. We need to build institution, because when we build individual, when the individual leave, the institution crumbles. And we here in America, we enjoy this great liberty. It's because they build institution. If America has not built institution, but now we're in a crisis, Donald Trump had taken over the whole country. No, because they built institution. Laws are in place for people to obey and people to follow. But the sad thing about our association, you got laws for people to follow. If they're not following that law, then they say, the people in power, they're trying to stop me, or they're trying to do this and they're trying to do that. That's one of the obstacles, that we've been facing as we carry on change in our association. People do not want to respect law. When they didn't meet the criteria for the law and for principle that have been set, then people come say, "Oh, let's bend the rules." And we said, "No, we would never bend rules. No. We are people of principle. We came to take what you know about leadership, to bring about transformation, bring about expansion, accountability. As our president, Mr. Reese, often say, nobody's above the law, and you don't believe it. In our medicine now, we really kind of get at one another when things is not right. By the end of the day, we still call one another, and I trust our president. He keeps up on to call us to see how things are going on. Where are we doing? He will call like in a week, weekly. He will just call another check-in. Let's check in. Let's see what's going on. What do we need to do? That's the kind of leadership we need. In our Liberia Association. Across America, and Mr. Williams have been, he has been a very great leader, humble, and listening to advice and things, and much to that, saying a text message, we had a conversation. I sent out advice to him. He said, "Yeah, as a secretary, I will accept that advice. I think it's great." How often do that happen in our Liberia Association? He could say, "I'm the person. I don't have to listen to you." So we just want to bring that whole spirit of the institution first and not individual. That's just our goal. That's the message we want to preach during our convention.
That is wonderful, Mr. Secretary General. It tells me that the organization believes in transparency and good governance. So would that be elections at this convention or what?
Yeah, there'll be election at the convention. Yeah, there'll be election at the convention. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the offices that will be open for elections?
All the offices that provided by the Constitution, which is President, Vice President, Secretary General, Treasurer, and Financial Secretary.
Also, all the offices open for re-election.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know some of the candidates, Mr. Secretary General, that will be contesting?
Oh, our so far the election commission satisfy our team. The other team that's running against us, the election commission, according to the election commission, some candidates in that team did not meet the guideline and regulation yet. So we're still waiting, and in reality, the other team, they went to the board of directors. The board of directors came up with a resolution, which was I think it was a beautiful resolution to for everybody to get part of the process, but still, the resolution was ahead to. So I keep telling people, I say we are bending laws. We would not bend the law and bend the rules for individual. No.
That's true. So we'll also be concluding today's round table, but sometimes it comes out like the interview, discussing the good people of the Bassa-speaking people. from Grand Bassa, Magipi, Rivercess, and Montserrado County. Somebody asked, are you also including the Mabam Bassa in this whole group? So I don't know what's the difference there. Will
Oh
you
no, they are the same Bassa people, you know. I showed the Maba Bassa, they in one of the Bassa counties, except you tell me they're not in the Bassa counties. And for all Bassa speaking people, if you are, you know, you Bassa, your husband a Bassa, you welcome to the organization, you know, and if you don't have, you get Bassa people in your state, you're listening to us, and you do not have a Bassa association, we encourage you to kind of, you know, reach out to us. You know, you can go to our website, uniboa.org. You will get all the information about the coming convention. You'll get information how to reach us if if you're interested in bringing the Bassa people together in your state. So we welcome. We want to bring all the Bassa people together. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's for unity, but unity does not always mean conformity. So there'll be people
Yeah.
who have different views on certain things. And I'm glad your president is open to these opposing views, and are also meant for the good of the organization. So that's a good thing. But I see, Reverend Davis, you are excited about this convention. How many persons are you expecting at this convention? Just an estimate.
We so far we're playing for 150 people, but I think we're gonna get more than 150 people. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we're planning for 150, but I think we're gonna get more than that. Yeah. You
Wow.
know,
So
yeah,
so how
because
you going to
our
host?
last convention, people, they went there, they saw it, and people said, "Man, it's just different." Yeah, yeah. So I'm just excited, bringing all our people together, with all our differences, from the Bassa speaking countries, that we can come and celebrate who we are, celebrate our heritage, and see how best we can bring about transformation. That's why I tell people how best we can bring about transformation. How many Bassa schools, high school do you see in our Bassa countries? They are very limited. So these are things we need to start thinking about, about, as Bassa people, you know.
That's very great. And for those who don't know, uh, whether there'll be convention fees and registration before they go, what do you have to say to them?
Oh yeah, yeah. You go to the website. The informations are there, and also those chapters are already part of the union. We send them all this information and have it. And this coming week, I will be sending out the credential form. So every chapter president, yeah, we also got an online registration link. You know, those are part of our chat room. They are there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The convention registration, I think it's about $100. Yeah, include everything, the board, the cultural heritage night. Yeah, yeah. The convention, all the national, all the presidents, look up chapter president. They are aware of the fees for the convention. Yeah. But our website is one of the best sources. Uniboa.org. You go there, everything is there, and my email address there. You can reach out to me. The president information is there as well. The vice president, who is the chairperson for the convention committee, he had made all these information available to us. Yeah, so there is fees for registration as dedicated to the convention. Yeah.
So I know you want to be open to Liberians. So are you saying non-Bassa speaking people can reach the convention? And how much would be their fees?
Oh yeah, yeah. Non-Bassa speaking, you are welcome to come to the convention. You said our cultural heritage night and our board. We got people from like different countries. We got guests coming from Liberia. We got guests within the Indiana area, and yeah. Our organization is open to everybody. If you're non-Bassa person, you can still be part of Uniboa. Yeah. So on our website again, we got all the information for the board night, for the board and the cultural heritage night. They are the fees. They are all there available. Yeah, and it's kind of
Wonderful.
reasonable fees. Yeah, below
Okay.
$100.
That's good. That's good. What is reasonable for you could be expensive for
I
somebody
know. I
else.
know, right?
Yeah,
I know,
that's good.
right?
But you see, uh, there's a joke and that I want to bring to your attention, and I know you're already ready for that joke. And they said that our Bassa brothers and sisters sold the land for small fish.
Uh,
Yes.
that's that's a joke. That's not true. That's
So
not
so
true.
tell us today. Let's lay this thing to rest once and for all. What really happened?
That's true. Like all my research I've continued to do over the Bassa people, I haven't come across that whole small fish thing. I grew up where the Bassa people sold their land for small fish. That would be impossible. If the Bassa and their chief were in negotiation, to purchase a piece of like Cape Montserrado that eventually today, we came up this whole Liberia. No, it wasn't for small fish. No, there's no way in our history that we saw our land for small fish. I think it's just like a what? Should I say it's like a politics they try to do to us? Yeah. What we would say, we got the ocean right there. We got fishermen and no, that's we know the importance of land. Oh my gosh.
Exactly,
And
exactly,
then when you
exactly.
talk about Liberia being the Green Coast during that time, it's the whole Bassa Cove. That's
Yeah,
where the Europeans used to come and fresh food, in the 1500s. Yeah, we're feeding Europe. The people used to come there for food. Yeah, if you go back to the transatlantic slave, most of the slave owners in South Carolina area, they usually tell people they wanted slaves from the coastline, which runs from the Bassa Cove and other parts of maybe Ghana or something. Yeah, that's where they took people, And it kind of shocking. I didn't even know that there was a Appalachian town in I think North Carolina. I said North South called Liberia.
yeah, yeah. There's a street in the Maryland area to the Baltimore area called Monrovia Road. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
the thing is, we know that our country is well known. We might have our own issues, our own situations, whether economic, political, educational, health, just name it. But all nations have theirs. So Liberia has come a long way, being an advocate for freedom, for especially when South Africa was doing an apartheid thing. So we play our role and we stay playing those roles. That's why we are glad when we see organizations like yours that are trying to make headways into not being self-centered, but open and transparent and working for good governance, because it's from the people that the country will have people who will take the civic education seriously. It's from the organizations we have. So we gracious hope want to thank you for coming, and we hope you can have a very vibrant, time-tested convention in Indianapolis. Is there anything you want to add before we leave today? Because time is almost on
I
us.
know, yeah. All I got, I'm going to say to all the, Bassa folks, are listening. We, on behalf of the Williams and Reese administration, our president, Mr. Abraham Williams, and the convention chair, Mr. Joseph Reese, we want to say we are looking forward to seeing you in Indianapolis. The Indiana chapter, they are all ready for you. Food and everything going to be there, Come, let's celebrate our heritage. And if you have not booked your hotel, we encourage you to do that, and we encourage you to also register online, which would make the secretarial work lesser, if you register online earlier, than doing it in person. But again, we just want to say thank you all for inviting us and for telling the Bassa people story. Uh, my fellow Bassa people, see you in Indianapolis.
Okay, let's do this. You are fluent Bassa speaking there. Could you speak to our older people who are watching and who cannot
Look,
understand all the theories
it's,
today? Would you speak to them
wait,
so that they can
wait,
be at the
wait,
convention
wait.
in a clear Bassa language for
I
them
know.
to
Wait,
know you?
wait. Is it fluid now? No, then you be. When is it fluid? I kind of disagree. I'm not fluent. I do. I do my best in the Bassa language. I'm a grown up. I had to. Tell my father. I need to go. You see my grandmom to just. I got to learn the. Bassa. The basic Bassa, and start learning how to read the Bassa Bible. So I believe you will be uh, ni dia get any a convention and be in Indiana or and move and get you know a website come that same that same more in get your convention get uh mune achara muke Bruni Pleasambo then in get Bruni Pleasambo that same. Yeah, so yeah, the president will be able to give them all the information, concerning the convention. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. At least you spoke to our elders who may not really follow the discussion in English today. That I did that sort of be inclusive, because sometimes we come and we just do English and forget we have our older people. Yet they speak English, though. Don't get me wrong, but when you speak the language to them, they better appreciate you for coming down to the
No,
level.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So I'm
I
glad.
remember, I remember I spoke to a church in Liberia, and under my message, I kind of summarized it in Bassa, and our people like they were just amazed,
Yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
we do our best to even if it's struggling with the language, we will do it, but we will still hold on to
Yes, that's
our
effort.
heritage.
That's what they want to see. That's what they want to see. That decision, that determination to speak it no matter what. You're not deterred by what people will say. Look at him. He can't even speak his mother stuff, but we don't pay that any mind. Yeah. So I'm glad you do that. So Gracious Hope live podcast, including Reverend Dr. Alexander Red, Pastor Red. We are happy that you could join us today. We appreciate when Liberians come on this platform. From the onset, we told you this platform is not to tear our country apart. It is not to tear people apart. We don't discuss personality. We want to discuss issues, because if you discuss personalities and you don't go anywhere with the issues. So that's what we are for. We look forward to see you again, and this time maybe we're going to discuss you as Reverend Davis, your beginning, your own struggles in life, and what keeps you going, and the rest of that. But for now, we're discussing Uniboa. The child has grown, and this child going to do great things for not just the Bassa-speaking people. I know you agree with me on that, but to the larger Liberian society, because what keeps us together as Liberians is because we are Liberians, people who cherish each other. Yes, we have differences. We have wicked people in our midst, but in every society, have wicked people. Liberia is not exempt for that. So thank you, brother. Keep up the good work for what you're doing. About regards to the leadership, the national leadership, and the chapter leaderships, and all that you're doing. Yes, criticism will come, but keep your heads up high.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming. I want to salute all our chapter presidents around the country. We say God bless you. We look forward to seeing you.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Inzuo, guys. Bye for now, brother.
Okay, brother. God bless.
Okay, yeah. That was Reverend Joseph Davis today, discussing the 32nd National Convention of the Bassa-speaking people from Montserrado County, Grand Bassa County, Rivercess County, and Maghibi County. The convention will be held in Indianapolis in September, the first week in September. And they are inviting all the Bassa-speaking people and even non-Bassa-speaking people to join them on that day to celebrate the cultural heritage of the Bassa-speaking people in Liberia as well. So wherever you are, if you just watch the video, please share this video to your friends, your loved ones, and so that they too can benefit from the discussion today. On behalf of Pastor Red and myself and the Gracious Hope Live podcast team, we are glad you could join us today. And God richly bless you and have a wonderful day. See you next Saturday by the grace of God. I'll be here tomorrow with the Bible study devotional, and Pastor Red will also be here too Sunday and Wednesday as well. So please stay tuned. God bless you. Bye for now. This has been Pastor Suah S. Deddeh for the Gracious Hope Live podcast.